Hello, my name is Leo. Welcome back for another episode of Courage and Steel and Supreme World Ultimate. In previous episode, we managed to, well, first of all, Madagascar is now sort of part of the Warsaw Pact, although not really quite fully. Although, I do wonder though, could we get the formal alliance with them? No. Okay, well, never mind. But we are now moving, we skip ahead a little bit. We are moving a lot of the troops away from there, bringing them back into Algeria. And from there, we'll probably do a landing into West Africa. Or first, just French Senegal, and then go into West Africa and all that. Although, technically speaking, this is West Africa, so we could just land somewhere here. And then just move south from that area. I even wonder if we could capture some of the area here, because we're technically at war with them. I mean, I suppose it could be worth a try. If we can get through there without having to do a landing, that'd be brilliant. And there might not be any supplies in there. So in theory, it might switch hands. Then we'll just need to get a little bit further. Now, we will get some supplies through Algeria, so that could actually work quite nicely. And there is an alternative route through here, where we could enter into the area. That's an interesting chance, but the reason why I brought you back right now is France is offering peace. We're of course not going to take that, because we can still liberate a lot of countries and bring them into our faction instead. So therefore we're not going to do the peace deal, but I just thought it was hilarious, so I'm just going to reject that offer. I want to go on fast speed at least. We are doing a lot of trading, including we're doing some deals with the various colonies that we have, just to make sure that they are officially brought into the Warsaw Pact align, not just leaning. Although some of them might not be able to do that quite yet. Oh wow, there is a lot of trade deals going on. Alright. We're not doing all that strong in terms of cash right now. I suppose one thing that we could do is maybe start reducing some of the... Actually, how is the infrastructure? Is 99.4. We do like to keep that fairly high, but we could technically lower that perhaps a little bit. Although probably not too much. If we have a look at the total, so law enforcement is 17 million, healthcare is 40, infrastructure is 50. Education is only 15, law enforcement 17. Yeah, so there isn't necessarily that massive amount of leeway in there. Now, I suppose a few other things that we could do is change some of the prices in here. Now, the domestic price for agriculture is relatively high. We're still buying a lot. We could, technically speaking, lower this a little bit more. Now, that means that we'll get a little bit less money, but that does mean that the population is going to be a bit happier with us. And therefore the approval rating is, well, it's already 24%, so that's not too bad. We're also moving a lot of troops away from the Rostov area into North Africa, but yeah, I think testing the waters over here, if we can get across the border, we can set up a supply depot or something in there quite quickly, and that's going to allow us to push even further and just, you know, drive along the road. That is going to activate a lot of the enemies though. And I started scrapping some of the old submarines in the Arctic Sea. Over here, just the ones watching over there. We do have another set of ships that we could bring in, or let's just bring the submarines there. We also have had some ships try to get through here, and clearly there's some South African planes trying to fly through Germany, I guess, that never got through. So those are not a problem right now. I suppose a few other things that we can do is we can sell some of the... I mean, we're now not buying quite as much food as we were before. But we can still go on. Actually, how much? We've got reserves for 7 years right now. Well, that's gonna last a while. But we got quite a decent bit of petroleum still, although we have reduced the production to some degree, because it's just not making him that massive profit right now. We are selling a decent bit, but we could maybe reduce the production down to like 45% again. That's still gonna be a decent bit of extra production, but at least it's gonna reduce the daily cost, and it might actually start increasing the global market price for the petroleum. Inflation is still pretty high, among other things, so we will need some time to sort of build up stuff. I'm sure it will be fine. Oh, what's there? Oh, there's the supply trucks in here. Okay. Oh, because there is no supplies in here, but there is the airfield over there. So I'm guessing the Algerian supply trucks are here just to allow me to get through. I mean, eventually we should still get some resources very slowly, even with the 0% supplies. But yeah, it's a big question if we can actually capture any of the land there or not. What's the supply? Okay, so once we get past this area here, this is like the sort of desolate area in between the supply zones. If we can get through there, then that is going to allow us to get all the way. I don't know if they're... Oh dear, if we start going south, then there's going to be a lot of problems with the supplies as well. We could try going into the sort of southeastern area. Let's have a look at the supply zone. So we'll go through there, and then down that way. I don't know if we'll have the supplies in here, to be fair. But in theory, we might be able to capture some of the stuff. Oh, and Thailand is offering to buy some petroleum from us. Okay, I mean, they're offering a pretty decent price. We'll just put auto accept on those. It's going to be hopefully a bit more money for us. And the daily deficit is a little bit less now. Now, if we have a look at the expenditure, research is almost 100 million. Defense is pretty high as well. Treasury is... Well, the social service is pretty high, and the facilities upkeep. And then intelligence and UN memberships. One thing that we could probably do is reduce some of the government support on a daily basis. Currently at maybe 90%. So we can go to like 80% of the total. Or recommended 15, and now actually I think it's 90% still. But yeah, we're going to reduce that a little bit. It's not going to be a massive amount of money saved. But you know, every million that we can save will help us in the long run. So currently our economy isn't necessarily self-sufficient, but a large reason for that is actually the fact that we're buying so much resource from our colonies and all that. Oh, Finland's buying some petroleum as well. They're offering pretty equal price, so we're not making massive profit out of that, but that's fine. So did we manage to get the troops through here? Not really. And how's the submarines doing in here? They're not doing too bad, actually. Alright. Well, at least the... Oh, hello. Oh, there's merchant marine over here. Okay, where are you heading to? You're going through France, or not France, into Italy. Probably following the coastline there. And it'll be going through here somewhere into the Black Sea, I reckon. Or trying to get in there anyway. I can guarantee that it's not going to get in there. Right, so we are actually getting a little bit of supplies in here, but again, all the advancing in here is very, very slow. Oh, and Czechoslovakia is back in the non-aligned. Alright. We've been trying to improve some of the relations in between the time skip, especially Albania and Czechoslovakia, but clearly we haven't been successful enough yet. They are wanting to buy 100 tons of consumer goods per day. How much of a stockpile do we have? Let's see, it's 90 days. So it basically would be 9,000 total. I think we can afford it. They're offering a good price. So that at least is going to give us a bit better total profit in here on a daily or day-to-day basis. But regardless, we've got a bit of research underway. We still... Oh, right, Czechoslovakia. That was the one that happened just now. We can't do any of the deals, unfortunately, with them yet. We could probably sell them a bit more... rubber. We got a pretty good stockpile of rubber. I mean, they got some rubber there as well, which seems to be enough for a few months already. And do we have trade deals with them? We are still selling rubber to them. Is there anything else that they need? They don't need petroleum. They could use a bit of timber, but do we have a lot of timber available since the Americans have been buying most of it? Not really. They got quite a bit of agriculture. I don't think they'd be willing to buy that. Coal, they produce themselves enough, as well as metal ore. Electric power, they got pretty decent production, so it's mostly consumer goods and rubber that they need. And consumer goods, I mean, I suppose I could sell them a little bit. Let's go for 90 days, we'll sell them... You know what, we'll give them 100 tons per day. It's gonna cost us a little bit, but it might be enough to at least bring them back into our faction. At least slightly leaning towards our faction, if nothing else. Yep, they're leaning again. Right, so we're sitting at 8 billion still. We've got some of our troops here. A lot of the supply trucks are trying to help me get through here. And we're maybe slowly going forward. We did get the troops down here, which are not quite ready to move all the way in. But we've at least gotten a little bit further down there. But yeah, this probably needs a lot of supply trucks, let's be honest. We're getting a lot of extra troops now. Oh, Korea is no longer aligned. It's just leaning. Alright, what do you need? Power. You got plenty of coal. You do need petroleum. You've got a decent stockpile of it already, but we can probably sell you a bit more. Actually, how much do you need? If we have a look at the importers list, we should be able to see Korea here somewhere. Yeah, they need to import about 100,000 barrels per day. Alright, well, I mean, that's going to be a lot of trade. We'll go for 90 days deal, and we'll sell them about 100,000 per day. They're going to be paying well for that, and they get a lot of all solid offer for petroleum then. There we go, that was successful. I don't know if it was enough to flip them back into our side, but who knows. So how far does the supplies reach? We just need to get a little bit further with these troops, and we can get them within supply range again. There we go, the Warsaw Pact line again. Let's just double check if we could get more trade deals with Korea, or the various pacts with them. Mutual defense, yes. There we go, that's one done. Missile defense, maybe. Free flow. Okay, let's take the missile defense out first. We could get that. How is their economy, by the way? They got quite a bit of unemployment. Okay, this might actually be good for us then. Let's start with the labor force movement. Oh, we're actually making money now. We've got so many trade deals going on. We've got quite a bit of inflation though, so that might not be the best for us, at least in the long run. Doesn't seem like they are actually accepting the deal. What about the missile defense? No. Let's try to get the criminal extradition at least. If they're not giving even a counter offer though, that's a bit concerning. Alright, what else do they need in terms of resources? They needed petroleum. They probably need rubber. We've got plenty of agriculture, so that's not something that they need. Coal, they produce metal, or they produce electric power. We could maybe sell a little bit. Let's do like a 30-day trade. We don't really have a massive amount of power available, but we can probably sell them like at least 5,000 megawatt hours. And then let's have a look at if they would be more interested in doing the... Well, yeah, let's try the missile defense. That's something that they might demand something in return. Oh, there we go. We got our reinforcements arriving through Suez already. Or mostly have arrived through Suez by now. We've got some of the troops over here waiting to get through, and these are now within supply reach. Let's get into the airfield. These two still need to get a little bit further, although they can move now to some degree. So Algeria has a bit of a debt problem. They got about 1.4 billion in debt, and their treasury is like 200 million. So it's quite a bit more than what they can, realistically speaking, afford. Let's give you orders to move a little bit forward. So, yeah, there we go. You are now in an area which does have supplies. Well, that, technically speaking, does have a little bit of supplies as well. It's not a lot. How is the... So unemployment is 3.7. I think soon enough we might want to get another research center. We can still fit one more in here, where we've been building most of them anyway. We can move that out. That has been filled with electricity. We can maybe make this into a new group, just for the heck of it. And move it into the middle. So it's going to be helping a lot of the surroundings. We've got a bit more infantry. Are these the... These are still the old Spetsnaz. We have unlocked the new Spetsnaz, to be fair. And we are building them in some places. I don't know if they've managed to... Oh yeah, that one's going to be the last old one in here, and then the new ones are taking over. Because the newer ones have quite a bit better stats overall. But you know, we might as well use up the units that we have thus far. Right, but one thing that we do need to worry about, perhaps, is trying to get enough troops in here to, you know, advance into an area. I suppose if we just get stuff in here, hold on to that, we should be able to get some supplies through the border, if we can capture that. So let's have a look. Can we go through here? Oh, we can. Well, I'll be. We don't have any supplies there yet. We'll just have these dig in for the time being. And as soon as we can... There we go, we've got a little bit of supplies. Now, the question is, which sort of stuff are we going to put in there? I suppose a military complex wouldn't be too bad. It's fairly quick to build. We can build that one up with, say, a barracks, for example. And maybe an airfield. And a couple of supply depots or something like that. But that is then going to start spreading the supplies back into Algeria as well. And that should help quite a bit. Let's bring in the ISU over here as well. And then at this stage, since we did manage to get through the border, let's just start sending a lot of these troops Let's have a look at the supply line so we can get at least up to there without problems. Then we'll probably wait a little bit before we start sending them over. We'll send in like a couple of units at a time, I think. But like the enemies won't be able to send in that many troops in here either. And as soon as we start getting supplies in here, we've got 12% already. It's already spreading our influence here. So that is actually going to be quite lovely. And we'll get this done hopefully in due time. And then we're going to start pushing in further into the... or what would be Mauritania, I believe. There we go, we are getting control here. We've moved a lot of the troops down south. We could maybe start moving some of these troops. Do we have the... oh yeah, we do have some heavy supply trucks. Let's just move those in here to help sort of bridge across the gap in here. Oh, and Reunion, North Vietnam reached ceasefire, and North Vietnam and Madagascar have signed a truce. Okay, so Korea is still very much in our faction. Let's just actually sell them a little bit more text. And also China, we can, first of all, close that map mode. Nuclear reactors designs, you're willing to... oh wow, you're willing to pay a lot for that. I mean, it's a good tech. And then North Vietnam, we could maybe get some... say the gold classification, for example. You probably don't have a lot of cash. What do you need in terms of resources? Electricity, consumer goods. You don't need a lot of rubber, actually. I mean, you probably do. But you don't have any production and all that, so... it's probably not going to be that important. But at least consumer goods and electricity is something that you definitely need. So let's sell you like 5,000. It's probably not going to be enough for your needs. Oh wow, that is a good price that you're offering for that. Especially you need that badly. No, back to 9 billion again. Now the question is, are there going to be enemies trying to move in their submarine, or not submarines, but troops into the French West Africa here? Possibly. But at least we've got the supply advantage in here right now. And as soon as we get this... I suppose since we've got the combat engineers there helping, that is actually going to mean that the construction work is going to be done even faster. Right. Uh-oh, what was that? Brazil declared war on Argentina. I was going to say acknowledge that, because we've got pretty good relations with Brazil. And Argentina was someone that destroyed one of our... faction members, or at least members leaning towards the faction, but now they are leaning towards us, oddly enough. Can I perhaps get a non-aggression pact with them? And you know what? Since you are part of our faction now, I could even sell you some of our old military units. We actually even got quite a bit of space enough that we could probably sell. Because these are the old ones, so they're not going to be quite as good, but they'll do just fine. How many is that total? That's quite a few total. Just gonna gift those to you. And that was in here, was it not? No, it's not that one. It's somewhere. Now, they haven't accepted that yet, but once they do, we can see it. Oh, right. It's the one next to Moscow. And you didn't buy the gold gasification, alright, but you did buy the electric power, which makes sense. It is very useful for you. Okay, there we go. Unemployment. Oh, wait, actually, that's even worse. Unemployment at 3.6%. Well, I'm sure that eventually it'll get better. Oh, hold on a minute. Are there actually ships trying to get through? Oh, yes, they are. Also, one thing that I suppose I could do. Do we still have the planes in here? We got some planes in here. I'm going to send them into the French territory. And then just bring them in here again. See if we can bait some of the enemy planes to fly over here again, but I don't think that actually worked. At least we don't see any action there right now. One thing that I suppose I could do, where's the closest port in here? That's a port, but can they actually get through here? Well, there's a river in there. So in theory, yes. In practice, probably no. What I can do, though, here is... what sort of resources is there actually in these areas? I mean, there's a bit of agriculture that can be done near the river. There's no rubber. There's a tiny bit of timber. Basically no petroleum in this area. I mean, there's a little bit in the ocean. There's no coal, so Mauritania seems to be quite poor in the resources. There's a bit of metal, at least. No uranium, electricity, no. So there's no hydropower that could be built in here. And there's a bit of population. But yeah, overall, it's rather poor in resources. Right, so we've got our trucks in here. What I'll probably do is have these troops get closer. That should still be within reach of supplies. So I can just have these, you know, go somewhere, then go back to pick more supplies and all that sort. So set up a bit of a supply chain. Okay, still nothing in there, but there is some submarine action elsewhere. Oh, is that one of the... Oh, yeah, that's one of the ships that tried to get in here, but never actually got all the way through. Let's bring you some of these. Do you still have supplies? You do. I'm just going to send you back there. So we got some of the ships that were at Madagascar still over here. But there is definitely a lot of submarine action. It's probably at the Gibraltar. Or somewhere similar. Oh, and we got the transports moving through there. Very slowly. Luckily they got quite a long range that they can go through. We're still selling a lot of timber. Madagascar is offering military goods for us. For some cash. You know what, I'll accept that. Not that I need them. But you know, if it gives them... Oh wait, actually we might need them. Right, let's increase the production to 50% again for the time being. Although that might just be a temporary blip there. Just a lot of built... Yeah. A lot of units were built at the same time. And Czechoslovakia is back to non-aligned. Alright. That's a bit annoying. What do we have in large quantities in terms of resources? Because I'm pretty sure that we can't get any of these trade deals done with them. Not even free trade. Or free flow of labor force. So resources it is. They need consumer goods. We don't have a lot remaining right now. Plus, what deals do we have with them? We are selling them consumer goods and rubber. So no electricity. Yeah, they probably don't need that much electricity right now. They don't need the metal or coal, petroleum, so they're mostly self-sufficient, other than timber. The problem with timber is that we don't have a massive stockpile, but I suppose if we were to sell like 10,000 or something like that per day, then that's going to offer them at least some goods. Oh, what did we buy from Poland? Oh, military goods. Oh, everyone's just selling their military goods to me. Alright. You accept one and then everyone thinks that you will be buying them. Okay. Yeah, if we can get a bit more troops in here, then we'll be... Oh, and now they've changed back to the leaning at least. You are offering to buy some consumer goods. You're offering a darn good price for that. It's going to be another 6,000 total, but maybe we can still take that at least. Right, so I'm pretty sure that these are out of supply range already, so let's just take the trucks in to the neighboring hex. Have these pick up all the supplies that they need and all the fuel. Okay, they got all the fuel. So let's just get through there. And these do in fact still have the supplies. Are they still... They do have supplies in here, okay. Just barely, but they do. Let's just send another group down there then. Resupply from the trucks and all that. Oh, these are out of supplies, although they are getting some slowly. Once we get the barracks and the complex and all that, and airfield and a couple of supply depots, that'll allow us to get pretty far with the road here. Plus, it's probably going to flip most of this area to us. Even the French Sudan, we might be able to get some of their territory. And that's actually a question. Do we want to connect into, like, if we want to connect through the desert over here, not necessarily the best location to build, but we could do something like that. To make sure that the supplies reach a little bit further, and then there's a bit of a shortcut to get in there. Let's just move these through, and then these can probably move there. Take another group. Bring over there, let them just wait a little bit before they move any further. And these are, well, they're a little bit lower supplies, but they'll be fine. Eventually, and that's just a couple days away. Well, is Brazil... Oh, they're buying a lot of petroleum. Right, so... Argentina is actually... Oh! Argentina is actually the one that is capturing here. Right now, anyway. Interesting. Very interesting. So what does the... Do they have a lot of military techs? Not really. I could probably give them a few. We can even get some money out of it, which is probably fine. Oh, they already took that. Okay, that was quick. Brazil also has a pretty decent amount of cash, but yeah, if Argentina can actually win this, then that's potentially a Warsaw Pact aligned nation destroying a NATO aligned nation, and they might go around and basically conquer the rest of the area as well. Now, eventually we might do a landing in French Guiana. Not that there's necessarily that much. Actually, is there any rubber around here? I know that there's some in Brazil, right? Or is there? Oh, there's some in Brazil over here for the most part, and maybe a little bit in the deeper forest over that area. It's not a lot. It would appear that we are out of time for this episode, so if you enjoyed this, please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Also check out the links down below in the description, but other than that, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.